For those of you looking to read it, I'm sending you all just the rules and the link to it.
Greetings, Joe.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Joe.
7 o'clock. I'd like to open the PBD Planning Board meeting for Thursday, January 7th, 2021, held at 7 o'clock p.m. pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law 30A, Section 18. This meeting will be held on a virtual platform, Zoom. You may enter this platform. It was submitted in the Monday report on the meeting, and it is also being televised by PBD Access Television. First order of business is the approval of the meeting of paper stuck together of December 5th, 2020.
Mr. Chairman, I would move approval of the minutes of the meeting of December 3rd. With the exception that the date at the top of the page needs to be corrected to read December 3rd, 2020.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
For the record, everybody has raised their. Joe, you're not raising your hand. Oh, everybody has raised their hand.
A&R and Land Court, I have none.
None.
Site building permit plan reviews, I show none. Appointments, subdivision board action, Boulderwood subdivision.
Yep, Mr. Chair, Mike Salamini is here. All right, so there's two. So Mike, I'm gonna see if this one works first, and if it doesn't, I'll unmute the other one. Are you able to unmute yourself?
Mike Salamini, you're both muted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let me close one of them.
Go ahead, Mike.
All right. All right. Everybody see me, hear me? All right.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, good to see everybody again. It's a little
Mike,
weird, but
we just only hear you. We can't see you. So if you're showing anything, we can't see it.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know how to get the visual up.
It won't allow it. I just want to give you a heads up. But if you need me to share the plan or anything that you submitted, I can share my screen with it.
No, that's okay. All right. Well, all right. I guess we'll just do it without the video. Good to see everybody again. That's a little weird, but this is Mike Salamini. I'm also here with my father, Dave Salamini. I hope everybody's doing well. So here tonight to request the board take action to accept the Boulderwood subdivision as complete. The subdivision has been completed this past summer. As-built plans have been provided to DPS early December last year. All house construction has been completed and all houses in the subdivision are sold and occupied. Mass DEP has issued a certificate of compliance for the superseding order of conditions. This has also been provided to the PBD Conservation Commission. And as you know, the outstanding issue is the city taking ownership and operation of the water tower and pump station, which we're ready, willing, and able to do and have been for the last 6 years. And draft deed of the water tower and pump station has been provided to the mayor's office as well as the planning board. I'm happy to answer questions and anything you guys have.
Through the chair, anyone have any questions?
Mr. Chair, just before you begin, there were a few items that were submitted earlier this week, being the executed water tower agreement by Mr. Salamini along with the water tower mitigation agreement, as well as a memo from the Department of Public Services. So I don't know if you would like to hold a vote or not to accept these as late ads.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I would move to receive the memo from Department of Public Services from Mr. Will Pollitt, City Engineer, dated January 4th, Mr. Politz is requesting that we defer action on this until they can review in the field the subdivision. That was a move to receive.
Second.
Dr. Otto, all those in favor?
Aye.
For the record, everybody has raised their hand.
Drew, the second document was,
It's two documents submitted by Mr. Salamini. It is the executed water tower agreement along with the water tower and mitigation agreement. They were both in your packets as well.
all right, I would move to receive those two documents also.
Second.
All those in favor?
For the record, everybody has raised their hand.
Any questions or comments from the board?
If I may, I
Mr. Ford?
well, I think we're going to stand by until we hear a definitive answer from Public Services, definitely. But if the Solomonis have some more information to share with us, I'm all ears. I'd like to hear it.
This is Dave Salamini. One of the things that, we understand that normal procedure would be to wait for Public Services to do their inspection, and hopefully they'll do that in a timely fashion. With regard to the water tower, those inspections took place 5-6 years ago. Where the planning board is a party to the water tower agreement, I'm not sure if, and we met with the mayor last month, and we have a meeting scheduled for next week with the mayor, which includes the Public Services folks as well as the city attorney. My only question to the planning board, where the planning board was a party to the water tower agreement, I guess would like for the planning board, if you're comfortable doing so, to maybe take a vote. I'm not sure how you'd word it, to authorize the mayor and the city law office to accept the deed, if unless there's any questions, or if the deed, if the deed is acceptable. I'm not sure if it'll come back later saying, well, the planning board has to take some action on this. And I'd defer to you folks to see if you'd be comfortable taking a vote. It merely dots an I, if you will, on the process to allow the mayor with the city law office, once they're comfortable with things, to accept the deed and take title to the water tower lot, as well as take over responsibility for operation of the water tower, which, we've had this discussion before. Basically, Mike and I don't have any experience in operating parts of a water system, and we've been doing so for the last 6 years rather. It's really something that the Public Services folks that run the water system should be handling. So that's, I guess, our request is if you folks are comfortable, taking a vote on that, or what your thoughts are on that. Happy to answer any questions to clarify anything on that.
Mr. Chairman, may I address that?
Mr. Abernathy?
The planning board, although it's a party to the agreement, doesn't have the authority to order the city to do anything. I think at most what we could do would be to request that the city, if the conditions in Section 7 of the water tower agreement have been fulfilled, to accept a deed from the developer in accordance with that section. It's a request more than anything else. But I think until the city assumes responsibility for operation and maintenance of the water tower, we may not be able to approve the subdivision. I'm not sure about that, but it seems to be an integral part of the subdivision. And if the city doesn't, then it would seem that the developer would continue to have the obligation to maintain and operate the water tower. And I don't know what the developer's position would be on that.
Well, I suppose we're doing the responsible thing, because if we, we're paying the electric bill for the pumps and the water tower, as well as, maintaining the pumps. And it's part of the city water system. So everybody that's drawing water from that is, paying their water bill to the city. The other part of it is that tower was designed for, I believe, 500 or more homes, and there's only 113 houses in the subdivision that are drawing water from that tank. So as the board well knows, we've been dumping water for the last 5-6 years in order to keep the water circulating in the tank. So there's a bigger issue there with the city tying the system into the existing system. But that's for public services to work out on the city end of things. That's really not our responsibility. But obviously, we can't indefinitely operate the water tower. We've fulfilled all our obligations under the agreement, and all our obligations were fulfilled 5-6 years ago. And I agree with you that I think in sequence, the sequence should probably be that the city takes title to that prior to accepting the subdivision. That just makes sense. So we're okay with that. I'm just asking if there's any thought that the planning board would have to take any kind of a vote in order for the city to, accept the water tower. I do know that the planning board does have to take the vote to accept the roadways. That's part of the planning board's role. But with regard to this water tower agreement, which is somewhat unique, really what the thoughts of the board are in terms of acknowledging that we've completed everything that we're supposed to complete under the agreement, and request that the mayor's office complete the agreement.
Through the chair, Mike, have you tendered an executed deed for the agreement to the city?
Just a draft deed.
Well, I might suggest that there would be a different effect if you tender and deliver an executed deed in accordance with the agreement.
Happy to do that.
Under the law, delivery and a receipt of a deed transfers title. It may not be for purposes of priority, protected against subsequent transfers that you may make of that same property until the deed's recorded. But delivery of a deed, I believe, is completes the transfer.
The way the deed was,
I don't know whether there's any way that the city could reject it and thereby, thwart the intent of the agreement. I'm not saying they would ever want to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking out loud. One way to transfer a title, because it just says you're going to transfer a title. You shall transfer a title, and I think, in my experience, one of the ways to do that is to hand someone a deed signed. That's another avenue you have.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Any other questions from the board? Mr. Ford.
I'm glad Peter has knowledge of this, because I was thinking, and I'm thinking out loud also, is to have the city attorney address us and guide us which way to go with this. But if what Peter is proposing that's very simple. If the developer should just deed it over to the city.
That's what the agreement says.
Does anybody have any thoughts on?
I would say that we should. I mean, I would feel more comfortable, not taking a vote on this. Where I know, as you said, that this is not part of it, and it would have to be a weird language to make this vote. I think I'd feel more comfortable to run this by our city attorney. I mean, you said you're meeting next week and that you're looking to do this in a timely fashion. Our meeting would be the week after. So you might have a little bit more information on where you stand before the board to make a decision or vote on anything.
Okay. That's a
If
great
I
way.
may, just through the chair, also, if you look at the first page of the agreement, the parties are the developer and the city of Peabody acting by and through its planning board. And I'm thinking out loud again, but that could be a delegation of authority to the planning board to do whatever the city's required to do to implement the provisions of the agreement. It could be, but I think Drew's is right. We should get an opinion from the city solicitor as to how this should unfold and be completed.
Drew, would that require a motion to contact the city solicitor?
Yeah, I would say make a motion to write. I'll write a letter. I'll draft it up. We can make a motion to contact the city solicitor. I can, we'll have this meeting, so I'll be able to send the information to our city solicitor, and I'll get his feedback. And if the board wishes, they could put in that motion to request that he actually attends our upcoming meeting on the 21st, and maybe we could get some more clarity.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I would move to communicate with the city attorney over the water tower agreement and acceptance of the water tower in the Boulderwood subdivision, and kindly come before us and guide us along. Thank you.
We have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Abronites, all those in favor? Any opposed?
For the record, everybody has raised their hand.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Salamini. Hope to see you on the next meeting.
Thank you. Could we be added to the agenda for next meeting as well, or I'll just send an email to confirm that?
Exactly. Yep. I will send you an email with the link to the agenda and the Zoom information.
Okay, great. Appreciate it.
Proposed Stonegate subdivision. I believe we have a letter requesting to extend to January 28th. Take a motion on that. Mr. Ford.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to receive a communication from Attorney Kelty dated December 29th, 2020, extending the time to act on Stonegate subdivision until January 28th, 2021, and further to allow the requested extension of time.
I have a second. Dennis Feld. All those in favor?
For the record, Dennis, everybody has raised their hand.
Okay, next on the agenda. I'm having trouble folding these papers. Okay, correspondence for Boulderwood subdivision, we went through that. The as-built certificate of compliance request for acceptance. Community development planning memo of Boulderwood, December 30th. And Stonegate subdivision request for continuance. Other matters before the board, Mr. Matthew.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Planning board members, I don't know if you all know, but part of some other boards and committees that I'm a part of, I'm the vice chair of the Chamber of Commerce, and as well as a board member on PVD Main Streets. And something that we've been working on for the past year or two is to move PVD forward with some transportation solutions to get folks to and from city to ease up on traffic and provide businesses with opportunities to get employees that might not otherwise choose to work in PVD. And so I'd like to request that I'd like to make a motion actually tonight to request that the planning board create a subcommittee to review the feasibility of having subdivision and site plan projects support financially or otherwise the city's transportation goals.
I'll second that.
Is that a motion, Matthew?
Yes, please.
And a second, Mr. Ford.
Correct.
All those in favor of having a subcommittee? at this time would like to request a volunteer to be the chair of that subcommittee.
I would actually nominate Matt as the chair.
Beat me to it. Mr. Betancourt, I'd like to volunteer to do that, please.
All right, Matthew, before the next meeting, if you would contact members of the board to select your committee, and we'll put that into motion on the next meeting.
Right,
Wonderful. Thank you.
I'll help you out, Matt.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. Thanks, John.
I'd be happy to help you out too on that, Matt.
Joe.
Any other matters before the board? Mr. Ford?
Mr. Chairman, I believe we have election of officers this evening.
That is the first meeting. My apologies. I believe it wasn't on the agenda, so we might have to meet to the next meeting. I guess we won't have I guess I'll also have to get the ball in the.
For voting?
Yes. My apologies. I will put that on our January 21st agenda. We are also missing 2 members as well, so I'll have that for the January 21st. I will stop by the clerk's office, socially distanced, and get the 100-year-old box.
It's
Yes.
like just yesterday we selected positions for this year or last year.
No, you took the words out of my mouth, Chief.
Time flies.
It's how we mark time when the officers of the planning board are chosen every year.
So only my 37th year. Okay, Mr. Gagnon.
Mr. Chairman, are we still missing some potential board members, some alternates and so forth? I think we are, a couple, aren't we? I mean, should we, before other people decide to move on, we should be, trying to fill those alternates so they can get a little bit of experience behind their belt rather than coming on as just full-blown members.
We are trying.
I believe we asked Drew several meetings ago to submit to the mayor that we request other members of the board to fill our requirement.
We are trying to recruit or find the members. It's proving difficult, but I will contact the mayor again and ask if he has anybody in mind. Or if
I don't know why there's any difficulties. The pay and benefits package is astronomical.
Yeah, and that holiday dinner was excellent.
There should be a line of people outside City Hall waiting to get in, beating on the door.
I've seen that other communities have placed a little blurb in the local newspaper saying that there are positions available. So that might be something the mayor's office might like to pursue.
That's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, I'll put that in an email and I'll ask. That's a great idea.
Good idea, Judy.
And I would like to try to find a civil engineer.
Absolutely. 2 engineers. And then they can argue.
That's just a wish. Any other matters before the board? Then I'll now accept a motion.
Move to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Do you have a second? Mr. Gagnon, all those in favor?
Aye.
For the record, everybody has raised their hand. The meeting is ended at 7:23 p.m. Everybody have a great evening and a great weekend.
And I hope everybody had a great holiday season.
Good night, all.
Thank you.
Hey,
everyone.
everybody.
Stay safe.
Night, everybody.